Okay, so now welcome to the next video. So suppose when you are planning to do the multiple sequence alignment, all of you must have seen this. There are multiple different algorithms which you can follow for this particular purpose. Like for example, let's say you have seen cluster W, you have seen muscle. Now if you go for any of the new softwares which are being performed, which are being utilized for this particular purposes, that is for creation of this MSA. It's like let's say Genius and softwares like that. So they have their own algorithms. So there are multiple algorithms which are available currently. Obviously, the most widely used two are Cluster W and Muscle. So the next question that generally comes to everybody's mind is that which particular softwares, or not just software, but which particular algorithm should we follow for this particular multiple sequence alignment, which algorithm is going to be the best for my particular sequence. So the thing is that cluster W is, or rather was prepared earlier than muscle, and this was probably the first one. So they use, so basically both of them, all of these softwares, so what they do is they use pairwise alignment. Now first they do this pairwise alignment for the two sequences which are most close to each other. Now this is the case for both proteins as well as for nucleotides. So that is your DNA or protein, whatever sample you have. Now so how we are, I mean, which particular one should we or should you rather use, which particular algorithm should you use for your sample? So generally speaking, there are a few things that you have to keep in mind. That is, when the total number of sample is not too large, then probably you should go for cluster W. But if two things, either the total number of sample is too large, number one, and number two, all of them belong to different organism. Here there are two important things. One is the total number is too high. Second, all of these numbers, they belong to different organisms. So in such cases, it will be always beneficial if you go for muscle, because muscle takes comparatively less amount of time when you compare that to the other one, that is cluster W. So and if you go for this algorithm, there are some differences, just to give you a perspective, let's say this muscle. So first, after doing this pairwise alignment, the tree that they follow for preparing of this MSA is UPGMA. Whereas in case of cluster W, they prefer, or they actually use the neighbor joining tree after the pairwise alignment to prepare this MSA. So this is in how this is basically how the two different algorithms differ. That is by that particular tree which they are using. So this is number one. And then the second point is that muscle actually takes relatively very less amount of time when you compare that with cluster W, and that is especially the case when you have large amount of samples. Suppose if you have 1,000 nucleotides or 1,000 proteins, so in such cases it is always recommended that you go for muscle more than cluster W, because the result will be somewhat near to each other. But cluster W can be followed again if is, as because neighbor joining tree is being utilized for preparation of this cluster W. So you can go for cluster W if your ultimate goal is to go for evolution studies. So that is another aspect which, so depending on what is your data size, from which different sources have you collected those data. So keeping in mind all of these things, and also what is your ultimate goal, that is what study do you want to do ultimately. So keeping all of these things in mind, you have to select, or you have to finalize which particular algorithm you are going to use. Now the suggestion that I can give you is at least from the first time when you are doing it or when you are performing it, it is always favorable, or it is always recommended that you follow both of these algorithms. That is, you prepare one file after doing this MSA with ClassTLW, and you do another file after doing this MSA with Muscle, and then later on in when you prepare the tree and you go for other analysis, then you can see or you can actually compare which particular algorithm gave you a better result with context to whatever study you want to do with your data. So now in today's this particular video, what we are going to do is we are going to create a multiple sequence alignment using ClassTLW. Now in the previous video, so if that is not present, I mean, I will give a link to that on top of the screen. So in ClassTLW, I mean, in the previous video, what we had done is we had prepared this MSA, or we had done the MSA by using a muscle algorithm. Here in today's video, what we will be doing is we will be creating the same multiple sequence alignment by using a different algorithm, that is, we will be using ClassTLW. So first of all, let me use the same data that I had used for the previous class. So or rather previous video, sorry. So this is a protein. Now let me retrieve the sequences. So this is the sequences that I had used for yesterday's class. Okay. Take this here. Okay. So now this is the sample, this is your total data, and there is a zero alignment has been done till now. So in today's class, what we are, or in this video, what we are going to do is we are going to align the proteins by using this ClassTLW method. So here the whatever data, I mean whatever has been set here for this alignment, pairwise alignment, that is the gap opening penalty, gap extension penalty, then multiple alignment, what is the gap opening and extension penalty, and all of these things we are not going to change it. So we are going to keep it just as it is. And so as you can see, there are different matrices which can be utilized for this study. So Blossom is a very common one, but here we are going to stay with this Gonet, and then we will. So again, what we can do is, after we are without changing it, we are doing with the Gonet, and then once that thing is being done, then we can change this particular matrix and see if we change the matrix how much different the result is going to be. So first let's continue with this particular settings. So it will, as because the total number of data here is relatively less, approximately 71 sequences are here, and the size of the sequence is also, as because they are proteins, so their size is relatively very small. So probably it shouldn't take much more time. So it should be done. Let's wait for it. Okay, so now this has already been done here. So if you remember the last class, I mean the last video, so there what the problem that we had within the sequences is that some of the sequences, they contain some areas which are which is not present in other sequences. And as because that is what I mentioned in the last video, is that as because this is present in only one sequence, so there is a probability that this has been a mistake during the sequencing, or there are some other issues which we don't want to get into. So what we did, in the last class we will be continuing the same, that is the ones which are creating the nuisance, that there will be some sequences for which the whole alignment will be ruined. So we will try to trim out, or we will be deleting those sequences, and then we will see whether that particular changing or that particular deletion has increased the alignment score, or it has improved the alignment of this particular thing or not, of the samples or not. So that is what we are going to do here. So if you just scan through the data, first of all, here this is a big gap. So again, if you scan through the whole data, there is no other place where this particular thing is present. So this again 265 to, and this one is 292, so that is approximately 27 to 28 nucleotide. So if we remove this particular sequence, number 1, and then let's again scan through here. So here there is a big gap. This one, number 18, so what is the species? Okay, so that is the Daphnia magna. So if we remove this particular species from here, okay, so then this becomes all stars over here, and then we can come to this particular gap over here, and then we will screen through it. So this particular sequence here, again this probably is another Daphnia magna. So all of these sequences, just for your reference, this belongs to an enzyme cryptochrome dash. Okay, so this is the sequence. Again we are deleting it. Okay, so here this particular region, this probably we had seen in the last video also, that is during the muscle. Three species had shown this region, so they do not contain this particular region, so this region is deleted in this species. So this doesn't make any problem, as because it is present in more than one. If it is present in only one, then there is a probability that something might have happened. Okay, so now as you can see, this particular species over here, they have almost got zero similarity with any of the other sequences, although there are some similarity, but in maximum of the amino acids they are different from the rest. So if you just scroll through this particular thing, you can separate out this particular line, as because this is quite different from the others. So as you can see here, if you just scroll through the whole thing, then also you will notice this particular line. So let us check which species is this. This is again Daphnia magna, another species. So as because we have got many Daphnia magna species for this particular enzyme, so we will try to improve the alignment by removing a few, and we'll see whether that actually improves the overall alignment score or not. Alright, so here so this we have already covered. So now let's see here, this particular region we have already removed it. Now this particular region, see, there is one particular species, same Daphnia magna. So this is a very repeating region, and here it is 561 to 581, so almost 20 amino acids, and that is not present in any other. Now the thing is that why I prefer to remove this thing is that, just if at all this particular I keep this species, then just because of this one species, all those rest of the 68 species, they will be ruined, their alignment will be ruined. So when you face such a problem that only one species it is creating the nuisance, it is always recommended that you don't just remove that, but you have to go back to NCBI from where you have downloaded, and then you have to see why is this so much different from each other. That is the total size from where it was collected, so all of these things. But from this study's point of view, it will be recommended that until you further go through, or basically you have to do a little bit of research on that, why is this coming like this, by going back to NCBI and see who did it, and which particular journal or paper for which this work was done, and then you have to refer to that, and then you have to find out from where the sequences or the samples are collected. So these things has been done, and then this has to be trimmed out. For now, just for the understanding purpose, we are removing this particular sequence so that the overall uh, alignment gets better. All right, so this almost looks fine to me now. So again, this probably we had one such region during our last video also, that is when we are using this muscle. So as you can see, the species which were creating nuisance during this alignment, so they are present, they were present yesterday and they are present today also at exactly the same, although we don't remember the nucleotide number or amino acid number, but exactly they are being present at the same orientation. So although there has to be some changes, but when we have done this multiple sequence alignment using two different markers or two different alignment, sorry, two different algorithms, so some of the things that we are seeing here, this is exactly same that we had seen in during the last video. That was when we had used the when we had used the muscle algorithm. Now here, as you can see, although these four probably are the same species, so let me just check. Yeah, Daphnia magna. So this particular species, so this has got this addition here, P and S and E. These three amino acids are being present here. So now the important thing here is that, as because in all the species, I mean all the samples, not species, of this Daphnia magna, as because this is present at P, S and E, so this somehow says that this particular addition is present in this particular species. So this is this kind of thing, this actually makes the very basis of genetic diversion, as I had mentioned earlier also. So these additions, these deletions, these small things, this actually has happened. So suppose there is one species, and then from that another species, another species, another species, and that is how the whole classification of species takes place, or animal. So now during this period, in any of the node, this particular species was created, or basically they not created, but they branched out from the previous one, from their ancestors. So during that those period, this particular addition had taken in their nucleotide sequence or amino acid sequence. Here, as you can see, S and G were added. So this kind of things. So the purpose of saying this is that, suppose when you see an addition of deletion of 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 amino acids, then that is adjustable, and this is basically understandable. But as when you see an addition of 27 amino acid in only one single species, I am not saying here again that this is a purely mistake, but again you have to go and study that about you find out which species is that. If you have any other sample of the species in here, then you can check with that. If that is not there, then you have to go and search yourself in NCBI and other papers where it was reported, to find out which particular species is this and how is this different, and then you have to find out about other information of that particular species to be. So this is not the case that 27 nucleotide amino acid additions cannot happen. No, that is not the case. It can happen, but it can only happen under very specific conditions, and this is very unlikely. Then in one node there is a change in, suppose when will be this will be more and reliable to you, or this will be more understandable to you when we will be discussing about the trees. But for now, the point that I am trying to portray over here is that generally what happens when the species branch out from their ancestors, so there are addition of a few nucleotides or few amino acids. So if there is an addition of 27 amino acids, that means basically you have 78 or maybe 81 nucleotides addition. So that's quite a big thing, which is so this is a very specific, if at all this has happened, this is a very information thing, and that is worth publishing. So this is such an important thing. So for that, again, as I was saying, you have to go for literature survey, you have to go to NCBI, see which species, then you have to read about that species and all those things you have to do. But here, as because these things are ruining the whole thing, so we are, instead of doing all those things, for now we are just removing it, because here our purpose is to clean the data, and using the data that is available here to create the best possible alignment. And furthermore, we will be going for using this particular MSA, multiple sequence alignment. Then we will go for the next one, that is generation of trees. Okay, so at this point we will go for another round of alignment. We are not changing anything over here. So let's just wait for this thing, and I'll see you. Okay, so the alignment has been done, so that we have come back here. So as you can see now, the total number of the stars has increased, but what we can see here is that again, same way as we had seen in after the alignment with the muscle algorithm, is that there are some regions where huge number of the stars are present, that is which shows the alignment, and then there are some regions where the alignment is very less, that is this region. So we will see why this is happening like this. So as you can see here, again, this particular region over here, this is creating or ruining the alignment of this particular region. So you, for this purpose, we are right now we are not deleting it, but if you want to see it, so just by deleting this, as you will see. So now if you see, there are no stars, you can see no stars are present over here, but just by deleting this one sequence, you will see multiple stars have been generated. That is that one particular sequence that was not allowing all of these alignments. So just because of only one sequence, all of these alignments were not happening. So this is again the same that we had seen in the previous experiment with muscle. So from our experience, from using the same data, we have used two different algorithms, and what we have found out is same way here also. We can from here we can select from here, and then we can go home, and then we can delete it. And the same way we can, this is basically nothing but cleaning the data or trimming the data. So here also this is the last sequence probably, if I'm not wrong, yes. So from this sequence, if we go press shift and then press end, so it will go to the end. So now what we can do is we can delete the selected box. So that will basically trim the size of the data, and it is exactly 481, which we got in the yesterday's in the previous multiple sequence alignment using muscle. So from our experience, we didn't see much difference in the multiple sequence alignment that has been generated using clustalW as well as using muscle. But as because the algorithms are different, so they uses different trees. So probably if we use a huge amount of sequences, maybe 1000 1500 sequences, and then using huge amount of data, And also here for this data, this is only, as you can see here, this is only animal screen sequences. And now if you add plants and microorganisms and other things to it, which will increase the diversity of the data. So once we do that, then probably there will be some changes if we follow these two algorithms, that is ClassTLW and your muscle. But from this studies point of view, we haven't seen or we haven't found out much of difference between the multiple sequence alignment that was generated by these two different algorithms. Alright, so that's all for today's video. Thank you.